Wow, wow, wow.
We're live. Welcome to the Digi-Key and Adafruit together on Discord.
We're live. We're here.
Yes, we
it's
are.
us.
All right.
Lady Ada. Me. Mr. Lady Ada as well. Here in the Adafruit factory. Adafruit factory is resting right now in between massive manufacturing events that we have every single day where we run all these work orders. But right now, we take a break. We're going to hang out with Digi-Key, which is like the engine, the oil, the gasoline that runs this beast.
Yeah.
Digi-Key parts come in, we put them on circuit boards, we write code, we write tutorials, guides, design products, and we send those same products pretty much back at Digi-Key and also other people.
Yeah, and also Digi-Key is part of AdaBox 8, which it's now full. So thanks Digi-Key, we hit all the maximum number of subscribers.
Max.
So that's big news.
Can't make more.
Last week we talked to Digi-Key a little bit. We'll talk to them again, and they said, "Oh, we have some show and tell stuff, and we'll also show you the building that we're building next door." So, hello, Digi-Key.
Hello.
Introduce yourself and take it away.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing good. Good weather here. Lovely day here in New York City, and you're in Thief River Falls.
We are, and I don't know how well you can see it, but right behind us is the construction site for our 2.2 million square foot expansion. So we're all very excited about that. It's fun to watch it grow up.
It's really flat.
Welcome to Minnesota.
I know.
Yeah, there's no tall buildings. I mean, real estate is easy here. It's not like Manhattan. You have as much room as you need.
That's so cool. Okay, and how big is this new building going to be?
So the footprint on the ground is 1 million square feet.
1 million.
And then there's going to be, between the different levels and how it's going to be laid out, there's 2.2 million of usable space.
Since you're in New York, to put it in perspective for you, you could take the Empire State Building and lie it down diagonally within the walls of this building.
Whoa.
They should relocate. So what is this going to be primarily used for? Warehousing, storage, airport, to fly out, all the stuff? What do you...
This will be all warehouse.
Wow.
Kevin's personal helipad.
Yes, that's my plan. There's going to be a full marathon, 26 or 27 miles of conveyor belt. I think a marathon is 26 miles.
Yeah, 26 something.
Okay, so every year you're going to have, somebody's going to race around all the conveyors. And is this in addition to your current warehouse, or is this replacing the warehouse?
This is in addition. There'll be some parts of our current warehouse that will transition over to office space, but exactly how that's going to work, we're not exactly sure.
Right now, we've only got about 1 million square feet of warehouse space.
So you're doubling. And when did this construction start?
As soon as the frost was gone, which was early May.
Okay, that is recent.
What's the estimated time for this to be completed, where you're actually in it?
The building is going to be completed in June or July of 2020, and the first package shipped in July 2020.
Okay.
Wow.
There's a lot of pressure. They're like, this is when the first package has to leave.
So it's going to take a while.
Yeah, it will take a while.
4 feet.
Yeah. And how many people is at Digi-Key right now?
Right around 3,700.
3,700. And how does this work out? Because like in a smaller company, like when we were picking our office space, we were all involved, of course, because there was only a handful of us. How much does your team, like, are they working with the architects? Are there things that are like really important? Where does that collaboration happen?
It's really between our executive team. I know we've talked about Dave Doherty a lot. Dave and the leadership team are working with architects, and the warehouse leadership team, they're all working together to figure out what's going to work best and what do we need.
Would we be able to get a smaller version of some of the conveyor belts?
Why don't you just make, you got that sushi conveyor belt?
I might actually make it out of cricket. Like that would actually work out. That'd be interesting.
There's actually going to be a walkway and a conveyor that goes between the two buildings. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, this has been, you said in Minnesota, they're really into skyways.
Yeah, I lived in Minnesota and I went through the habit trails. I was like a hamster. And you go through all the different tubes because it's cold in the winter and hot in the summer.
Yeah, anything you can do to avoid outside is great.
All right, so if you did a time lapse, you can't really do a regular time lapse. You just have to do a different type because the scale of it is a lot different.
We've got about 3 or 4 cameras that are trained on the site, and once everything is complete, they're going to put together a time lapse.
That's cool. All right. Anything else on the new building you want to tell us about?
We're all really excited. We need it. I mean, we're all packed into this building like pickles in a pickle jar. It's really difficult to move around.
Building gets any more full, we're going to be storing components at our desks.
Well, I want to do some of that.
Yeah, that happened to us a little bit. We were an apartment company before we got Adafruit Factory here, and we got our apartment was a live workspace, so we were able to use it as a workspace. But even then, like taking closet doors off to get the last bit of storage, one of the workspaces had a bathtub, and one of the bathrooms were like, that's storage. So our inventory system was like, okay, it's in tub. Yeah. Yeah.
Literally.
All right. Okay. And then so last week when we were chatting, we said, oh, there might be some show and tell stuff. So we have a couple of things to show if there's time, but y'all brought some stuff in, right?
Yeah, we have just a couple of items to grab. People were asking last week what kind of shelving we use and what our parts go in. And basically we have regular cardboard and then we have black ESD safe. These are just the bins. Our warehouse is filled with rows and rows and rows of these bins. It's nothing fantastic, but it just kind of gives a visual. And then every part that comes through the building will eventually go in one of our totes on the conveyor belt. And this is a tote. And then our conveyor belt will scan the barcode so it knows which tote goes to which location. The conveyor belt is really cool, and I don't know of anybody here that has said they don't want to ride it.
I fit a small child in there.
Yeah.
Or a small person.
That's fine.
I would love to ride our conveyor belt. Probably the most exciting thing of all, which really started the company, is Dr. Ron Stordal's Digi-Keyer. This is the original digital keyer that he made to, move it up to the camera.
Yeah, we were able to borrow that for a photo shoot here.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so that was the original Digi-Keyer that Ron made, and he bought reels of parts for this device, and he had so many parts left over, and he didn't know what to do with them, so he advertised in magazines and started selling parts at a good cost for only buying, you can only buy 10 parts instead of having to buy a full reel of thousands of parts. And the rest is history. And now we're sitting on top of a candy store, which is not sleeping right now. They're still running strong. There's 52 more minutes if you guys want to get an order and have it shipped out today.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
right.
last night while we were doing the show, we do the show from 7:30 to 9 p.m. And in the middle of the show, like while we're watching videos, I realized I needed to get another dev kit. So I put in my order. It came in today. Like I got it this morning.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so I got my Nordic NRF52 840 dev kit, and I got it tested, and I got CircuitPython running on it. But it's really nice when it's like at 8 p.m. when you're at the end of the day, you realize, oh shoot, like,
yeah,
it's like I'm an engineer, right? I lose things. Like, all I have is boxes of green and black squares. Really hard to sometimes find stuff, or I give it away and I forget that I give it away. So I like that at like 6 or 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I can be like, shoot, I need something. UPS read it, and I'll have it the next morning at 10:30, which is pretty great because it, for engineers, like time is the most valuable thing. A day that you can't work on the hardware it's almost a day lost, right? Like you can't quite get back into that groove. It's tough to keep your flow going. So I take advantage of it. I don't try to take advantage of it to the last minute, but I do sometimes last half hour.
Yeah, that's what we strive our business on is, having that opportunity to purchase at the end of the day and you can have it the next day.
Yeah, we often tell people our cutoff is a little bit before noon in New York because we have to get postal, UPS, DHL out. There's only so many windows for us to get a pickup each day, and a lot of these have to go out immediately. And so sometimes people will get Adafruit stuff from Digi-Key for that exact reason. Like, oh, I can still order it from Digi-Key and it'll get here tomorrow.
Do you guys see like a spike of orders in that last hour?
Yep.
Are they all, there's a last minute rush.
Yep. I was in sales and it would be dead from like 6 p.m. to like 7:30, and then 7:30 to 8 just wild.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, that's it. And you know what's funny? It's like there's no real reason to wait till the last half hour, but
Well, if you can.
if you can, I think they know that we'll ship it, so they do.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're here shipping until 10 p.m. every night, at least 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
And I know, Phil, you said you guys cut off at noon, and I suppose it takes UPS 4 hours just to drive across Manhattan.
It does.
As you can see back here, we have no traffic concerns. We may have a cow crossing the road once in a while, but I mean, really, we don't have
Car go by.
And which direction is the airport? Because there's like an airport that you have.
south of here.
Okay, so the opposite way from the back, from in front of you.
Yeah, right
That's
now,
right.
this is looking west.
You're looking
out the window.
Yeah, straight west.
And then and you have like one runway in the airport. How many planes approximately take off and land every day?
For UPS and FedEx, I know it's 3 a day. There's a small commercial airplane. It's not a jet. It's an airplane with a single prop to
Yeah.
help passengers. I think there's 3 or 4 flights of that a day. But I'm pretty sure UPS has 3 flights.
I thought we were up to about 5 flights.
Well, between UPS and FedEx, I think it's 3 each.
Oh, okay, 3 each. Yeah,
I think.
yeah. Because a lot of our shipments, they go out to Grand Forks, North Dakota, and go out through there. That's about an hour west of here.
Okay.
There was a request from a previous chat, because I think we talked about conveyor belts. And if it's possible, if you could put a little GoPro just for a part of the Digi-Key factory that you'd be allowed to show or something. I know you might not be able to, but that would be maybe one section maybe of it.
Just traveling in the
Zipping
bin.
through, yeah.
Zip.
Yeah, no, we've definitely talked about that, and I think there are some clips that we have. So we'll work on that. I think that'd be really cool. to
Yeah,
show.
if you send us a clip that's like totally cool, because like we wouldn't want a GoPro going through all of our shit, because like not every person wants to be on video either.
Yeah. But I think we could do something.
Okay, rad. All right, you got any other? Oh wait, hey, Mary's here. Hey, Mary. Mary's our purchaser, and she decided to come in. Hey, Mary, do you know you're live? I don't think Mary knows that she's on here because she got the secret link with this.
Hi, Mary.
She's our purchase. All she does is buy stuff from Digi-Key.
I'm gonna
We
go
let
ahead.
her- Yes. If we had room, we'd make her an office.
Yeah, she's out there. I'm gonna go ahead and pop Mary out on here because I don't know if she meant to do that. I think she probably clicked the link on her phone.
She's like, time to buy. It's 8:30 p.m. I have to go buy something.
Mary
from
may have been
Digi-Key
trying to place an order.
because she's trying to place an order at the last minute.
Mary may have been trying to place an order.
So yeah, I'd like to see a speed up GoPro cam.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Okay. You have anything else for show and tell stuff before we hit some questions and do our show and tell?
No, not for this. Not at the moment. There's
All right.
some for some of the upcoming episodes. But
Okay. Yeah, please do. All right. So, Lady Ada, you have a few things for your show and tell.
Yeah,
that
I
we're
thought I
gonna
could
do.
show off. People always like seeing panels of PCBs.
Okay. So we're gonna go to our camera here. I have a robot that I'm about to take apart that we'll maybe show, but this
So this is a panel. We're out of stock, so we're making some more Cricut circuit playground boards. You can see that this panel actually had 2 PCBs that were bad. Sometimes PCBs that there's errors of them, so you can see that there's a red mark. So when we put this in the machine, we mark it so it doesn't get pick and placed. So that way we don't waste the components. Because if the PCB is bad, like you don't want to pick and place the parts, because we don't have to pay for these. They just come on a panel and they just add 2 more circuit boards on the next panel. They just add more until they add up to the total number we ordered. But you can see these 4 got pick and placed, and they also went through the selective solder. So these parts are through-hole parts. And sometimes people say, like, well, why do you go through and do through-hole parts when you can get surface mount parts? Well, even though you have to do the selective soldering, it's still cheaper to get through-hole parts. Just the mechanics of manufacturing them is so much cheaper. Like a surface mount terminal block can be like $2, but a through-hole terminal block can be, like 10 or 20 cents. So it's still, if you have a lot of parts and you have a selective solder machine, it's still worth it to get a through-hole component. Also, mechanically, they're so much stronger because they go through the PCB. So this is a panel, so this is getting tested, and here's our tester that we designed, and it has these big pogo pins here that mimic a circuit playground, and then it has these little pogo pins here that connect to all of the outputs and test the outputs. And then I have a little test program that runs on this teensy, and the LCD tells you if everything passed. So when we program the boards, they get placed on this Cricut tester. You can see Cricut tester, and it takes about like 10-20 seconds to test them, and then we ship them. So that's the process that we go through here. Is like we have to make these testers and pick and place and select their solder. But it's really neat to see them on a panel before they're broken off. I always think that's fun.
You test every board?
Yeah,
Yes,
of course,
we do.
you have to.
We do a full test. So one of the things
I don't
that
understand. Companies are like, why do you test every board? I'm like, well, what's the alternative? Like,
That's very true.
if
So
you
what-
don't test every board, how do you, I mean,
yeah, we so there it's interesting in the maker world sometimes there's like optical inspection, but still that's not going to be as good as a full test. Like our things have to work perfectly, and we've not had a things shipped with the wrong firmware, like things like that happen, and it's because we do a full test for each one. It seems like it takes a lot of time, but the alternatives aren't great if you're sending out hundreds or thousands of boards and turns out they didn't get a full test.
honestly, the testing part doesn't take very long. Like a good programming procedure for testing a board should take less than like 20 seconds.
Yeah, I
So
think
that's not the, I mean, if you don't do it in 20 seconds, yes, it can add a lot of labor cost.
I think in our Maker to Market series we did with Maker
Yeah, we
and
covered this.
Digi-Key, we covered testers, and then we also have some Des of Lady Ada specifically going through testing, because that's the dark art of manufacturing, and a lot of folks will send things overseas and then it comes back and there's multiple revisions, but the testing portion is they still don't get experience with that, so that usually slows up all sorts of manufacturing, and we do that all here. We started using a lot of Arduinos, and we moved to Raspberry Pi, and then depending on what we're doing, I think that one is like a M4 or something like you.
Yeah, this is a Cortex, just because we got it to, we wrote some code and we open sourced it. We open sourced like all of our core design for testers and stuff so that people can learn from it. It's in that Maker IO series, but we optimize it to, it's every second I can shave off is another second we don't have to test boards. So getting this as fast as possible. So we've optimized and figure out little hacks and tricks to still do a full coverage test, but not take as long. So that's kind of what I do all day. Anyways, I thought I'd show that off.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The Digi-Key Circuit Playground Cricut.
Yeah, our show and tells mostly revolve around the Cricut, because that's the Digi-Key partnership that we did, so you can see that on there.
They're part of this.
Yeah.
Now you can see like what you.
Yeah, now you can see where your parts are going.
So does your tester do like a continuity test, or how is that done?
It's a really good question. The way I do tests for everything that I found works well is sometimes, you have an analog output, and then of course you just measure that. The regulator, you just want to measure it's 3.3 volts or whatever. But for digital pins, I have a function that I wrote like 7 years ago that if you give it the list of all the pins you want to test and which ones are shorted, we short them on the tester board. It'll test that when you lift one high, the other one goes high, but none of the other pins go high. And then when you drop it low, that one pin goes low, and then all the other pins are pulled high. So it makes sure that there is one shorted pair, but it's only the one pair that you shorted on the test board, and you make sure that those pins that are shorted are on opposite sides of the chip, so it can't be a solder short. It's like mechanically it would have to only go through the tester board, and you just pick the two pins and make sure that you just test all the pairs. And I've never had a board that got through with a short or an open with that test. It's always worked really well. You don't have to test the functionality of that pin. Like if that pin does I2C, I don't actually test I2C. I just check that it's a digital input and it's connected to the pin or the component. So that's what I do on the Cricut, because it's got the motor drivers. Motor drivers are just digital outputs, and they're high current, but they're still digital outputs. I just test the output high and low. And then the analog parts I test with analog reads.
Very cool.
All right, and we let's hit the chat, and then if everyone's good, I'll do this robot demo before I take it apart for the next one. All right, so let's go to the chat. Okay, there were a few questions, and then I wanted to scroll back. There was a really neat thing that came in. I thought that was a neat use of Discord with Digi-Key. So this person came in and they were asking about, let's see, Jazz said, while this chat exists, I may as well ask, I ordered some boxes, 37-2027-ND, and when I received them, I then realized there's no battery contacts included. The contacts in the related product section are in stock, have a lead time of 6 weeks. Do you sell any generic battery contacts that might fit? And then Digi-Key was able to say, hey, we have some battery contacts that are labeled custom, which may work in that enclosure. So I think that's a really neat use of folks have like, oh, I got something from Digi-Key, or I'm thinking like, or do you have this part of where would I look for it? Keep doing that in the chat.
And especially what I like about chats is, first of all, you can see other people's questions, and you can so other people will be like, hey, what's this enclosure? Oh, that's a really cool enclosure. You can discover, because I mean, Digi-Key carries like millions of parts. You're not going to read the catalog cover to cover, but also like all the part numbers and links and photos, like that's something that goes really well in Discord. Like I love pasting in photos and data sheets and screenshots.
Yeah.
Very useful.
It has more contacts in email or phone calls, or even does like live chat stuff.
And there was earlier in the week, there was a really interesting question in Discord. Trying to find exactly what it was, but basically they wanted to be able to easily add a part to their cart from the main search page instead of having to go into it and click add to cart. And I shared in there that on our EE Wiki page, we have a TapperMonkey script for Chrome and for Firefox that it's kind of a cool search. It's for, of course, it's a beta thing. It's one of our engineers that make it.
Yeah.
But it's really cool for people to check it out. There's a lot of cool image features in there, some different features when you talk about our website.
Oh, cool. And I see that you put in the largest item and the smallest item in the
I was right. It was a rack. I was like, I bet it's a rack because those are just so big. And I remember seeing it once in the catalog and being like, I can't even imagine, how much that would cost to ship. I mean, I bet if you ordered one now, you would still get it tomorrow.
I guess someone could test that.
You have 5 minutes to test.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wait, what's the highest cost item? I'm interested. Can you look up what the highest cost item is? What is that part that you pasted? The EFDI 50G.
A software license. It's not even a physical item.
So yeah,
what is
software will eat the world.
For what software? Like
Core by Xilinx.
It says, oh yeah, it's an FPGA. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Well, that does make sense because you're buying the silicon that like it's an FPGA. You're kind of buying the virtualized.
Can I tell? This is a secret Digi-Key story, but it's a good one. Yeah. This is the time Digi-Key saved my butt. So I was doing some stuff with Bluetooth, and at the time, the only company that had Bluetooth products that you could program was CSR. It was a British company. And CSR is like renowned for not being very responsive. The R in CSR does not stand for responsive. So I kept emailing them and saying, I need a license to use I can buy your chips from Digi-Key, but I need a license to download the IDE to program the chips because it's a closed IDE.
Yeah.
And they just would not reply to my emails because I wasn't like Apple or Microsoft. So I did a trick. I bought the license through Digi-Key as part of a dev kit.
Oh.
And then CSR still won't reply. And then I kind of sicked Digi-Key on them. And I was like, hey, Digi-Key, CSR doesn't reply to my emails. And the Digi-Key rep went in, was like, you have to reply. The CSR person was like, okay, here it is. Here's the code and the download link. Da, da, da. And they totally rocked out for me. And so I actually got the ID.
That was a long time ago.
You remember that. That was many years ago. Because it was me in a bedroom and I couldn't. Yeah, I didn't have a huge 10,000 Army engineer company.
You weren't Digi-Key. So.
Well, I wasn't Digi-Key, so I used Digi-Key as my persona, my avatar to
like a Digi-Key story.
Get me my eval kit license key, and I did get it. It took a week or two, but they sent it over.
That's interesting. We were looking through FPGAs last week. We talked about how expensive they are, and we do carry one. We have one in stock that's $21,500 for one FPGA.
Wow. How many did you guys have in stock?
Just one.
People can still have a half an hour to order.
I think the next Ocean's 11 movie is going to be about somebody trying to steal that.
It'll be the most boring. They'll be like, look, we got an FPGA.
No, but that will be the chase scene down the conveyor belt, right? Because
Okay.
the FPGA will go down the conveyor. People are like, stop that
All right.
board. And they'll run down the conveyor. That's going to be good.
I will watch a George Clooney FPGA movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sandra Bullock and like
Yeah.
Rihanna.
That'll work. All right. And then I cut and paste another one from because we have the video on YouTube as well. Someone was wondering, and this might be one for later, Digi-Key folks. Let me try to find it. Someone wants to make a set of bone conduction wireless headphones. Do you have any sort of silicone flat cable with 4 conductors?
That's a good question. Silicone flat flex cable. Do you guys carry that?
Really wonderful question. Yeah.
You got the 3 best Digi-Key search
Yeah, I was going to
experts.
say,
Look for it.
Our technicians.
you can pop that one in the chat because that might take a little bit of searching. But one of the things that happens at Adafruit, if someone says, "Oh, this is a part," or "This is something I want," sometimes that's how we go and do a purchase because it's like, "Oh, that's a good thing to stock."
I do love those silicone coated wires. They're so
Yeah.
great. They're a little bit more expensive, but compared to PVC wires, like they're such a joy for making wire harnesses.
That's great input for us as well. We have the same thing on our website. We have an option to give feedback. Basically, you can just email webmaster at Digi-Key as well, and they'll get to the right place. But we love receiving that customer feedback as well. So if there's something that you think Digi-Key should stock, please send us an email.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons a while ago Adafruit stuff ended up there. I think enough people were asking. They're just like, "Hey, can you stock this stuff?" And then,
Yeah.
We didn't even tell them to do it. They just did it.
yeah.
You guys still see us okay? I know the sun just kind of came out and
Yeah, it looks glorious. It's fantastic.
The sun never sets.
Okay,
on
well, we're
Digi-Key.
coming up on the half an hour mark. We were keeping these half an hour, so I'm gonna switch to the I'm gonna do the robot demo.
Okay, is it time?
Yeah. So if we could switch seats, I'm gonna do this. Here, you can go this way. All right. So the story behind this is we're testing all of the features of Cricket, and this one needed to test servos and sound and wave files and all that stuff. And we also needed to test a rotary switch. And so instead of just doing a boring, like, here's a rotary switch and here is code, we thought we would kind of pull all these things together in an interesting project. So this is Christopher Walken, and the meme that people know about is more cowbell. So at the craft store, there was a cowbell a couple months ago.
Yeah, you picked it up, and I was
And
like,
I'm
I
like-
know it's happening.
Months from now, this is before we even had, I think,
This is before Cricket. Yeah.
Cricket was ready. So anyways, I'm gonna hit restart it. What it does is it prompts you along. The eyes light up. Yellow is caution. Red, you should be doing more cowbell. Sorry, not enough cowbell. Green, more cowbell. And then some other stuff happens. We also decided, and this was just the extra credit portion, could we add a fog machine and have Cricket control a fog machine? So we added that. So I'm gonna have Christopher Walken take it away now.
Take it away.
Yeah.
I gotta have more cowbell. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
All right.
Hey, turn on. It's tricky. It turns. It takes a few seconds to turn
Yeah.
on.
So then after you're done, you turn it off, and then Christopher Walken will tell you how you did.
I could have used a little more cowbell.
So he's never happy. All right,
Never enough
so that was a live robot demo. I think that's one of the things that we wanted to be able to do too. Is these should be easy to make. That only took half an hour, build all together.
Yeah.
So that's our.
I remember the days when I was first, not that I'm that old, but first going through electronics, you could never do a project like that in a half an hour.
Exactly.
Days upon days of studying code and changing code and figuring out the shift registers. And
Yep.
No, it's all done for you. It's so easy now. It's all in Python. We're going to do some articles soon about the future of microcontroller programming with Python. It's just so fast and easy to write the code for robotics if you can save and iterate instantly, because there's so much tweaking that you have to do with timing and readings. Like it's, there's not, often you don't, for hobby robotics, there's no feedback loops. So you just have to kind of tweak and tune the numbers until it kind of comes out the way you want. So for that, Python is like excellent programming language.
Yeah, the other thing we thought was, well, Hello World for programming, that is kind of easy now. You can kind of type it in and you can kind of get Hello World. And even if that's your first thing, but a robot you should be able to have a robot say and wave Hello World in 5 minutes. And so that's what we did with Cricket. And that's why we think a lot of people will get into robotics. I think it reminds me a little bit of the Arduino world. Before the Arduino, you would go on a website and you're like, hey, I'm learning electronics. They're like, you need to cut your teeth first and like wire up this thing and then go off into the mountains. And
I remember when it was like
mine
you
your
had
own
to
cobalt
do an assembler, and if you weren't doing assembler, it wasn't real. And now nobody says that.
Yeah,
So
and
we finally got through that part.
Yeah, and so especially with some of the things coming up too, like the word industrial IoT gets tossed around a lot, but what if you could really make a little mini factory to prototype this industrial IoT idea very easily? And so that's a combination of robotics and IoT, and we're working on that now as well. So, okay, that's my robot demo. That's all I got.
So I personally am a AdaBox subscriber. What are the chances that there might be a cowbell in my AdaBox?
No cowbell because that's heavy. But you have all the things you need to make a project like this. This is if that's what an AdaBox were to have, because it's still somewhat a secret.
Yeah.
But the goal is just be able to take this is all made out of cardboard and junk. In fact, I'll switch to the other camera because I have to take this robot apart for the next one. So these are also very disposable. When we were thinking about robotics, like every robotic kit and everything was like $300, $400. It's like, oh no, you're never going to mess with it. This, like, you can just like, okay, now I'm on to the next trash panda robot. So I'm going to go over to this. I'll show you how trashy it really is. So this was a McDonald's, I think, chicken nugget dipping sauce cup. Piece of cardboard, or it was ranch dressing. One of the two things I probably shouldn't have ate. And then this is, I just had a pan of ice, one of the little pan of ice things. So this is just what I use for electronics anyways. And I use that as a stand. I think you all stock these too. And then this is the trigger that goes with the fog machine. This was just tape and cardboard. This is just glued on the back. I used tape and I've got this like sticky clay for posters. And then this is just two pieces to hold the mouth on, and that's just another piece. And that's it, kids. And a cowbell.
No, Christopher Walken's dead.
Yeah, and I didn't have to use this little, this is a xylophone. So I bought on Amazon, you can get like 5 xylophones for $5 or something. So I get a pack of xylophones with 3' shipping, and I just put zip ties on this. So that's kind of nice too, because it's easy to take apart.
Oh, it looks like you forgot to switch the camera. They missed all that.
Yeah, great. There it is. It's done. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I'll hold up the last piece.
The remote.
Yeah. Here's the cardboard pieces. You can probably see it in the little thumbnail. That's just the back, the NeoPixels. This is the McDonald's.
Yeah, this is the
sauce
servo.
Yeah.
We just taped on. And then, yeah, it's just paper taped on, and then just standard potentiometer.
Yep.
Wires.
So that's it. And that's how you make a robot. Okay, Digi-Key. Well, that's it. We'll see everybody Next week, same digit time, same digit channel.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, any ideas on how we could give something away tonight, real quick?
Oh, right. You want to give some away?
Well, I have some extra puzzles from Adabox 7. I can probably find a maker T-shirt of some kind.
Oh, you know what? Let's turn on the phone lines, and we'll do the same thing we did last week.
I'm not going to give away this Digi-Key, or I'll probably lose my job.
No, you can't.
No, there's only one.
You can't do that.
Give away that.
Everyone wants a $20,000 FPGA.
Yeah, I don't think that'll work. I don't think we can do that. Okay, so I'll open up the phone lines. Let me just do that. There are no rules on this one, right?
There's no real rules other than if you won the last week, maybe don't enter this week, so you have another person. You want to switch to the main cam?
Yeah. All right, so here's the phone number.
Call. You'll win some cool stuff from Digi-Key.
Yeah.
Puzzles, maybe a t-shirt. I'll send you something cool. Call's number.
Oh, that was
Okay.
fast. Okay, so lady had to answer the phone.
Okay, second ring. Hello, you reached Adafruit. Can you turn down your computer audio? Well,
Yes.
you have to turn down your computer audio.
Oh, well, technically you won.
Okay, well, I guess you won.
I'll let somebody else.
Okay.
Okay.
We have to say Digi-Key can't win.
I always have to.
It's kind of obvious that if you're on the show,
You know, people think I'm a big pain over here, and I think
You
it's
are.
true.
You really are.
I make people's life more enjoyable.
All right, well, we'll see if there's anyone who
somebody else.
Yeah.
Call up. Win. Phone lines are open. This is a good time, especially if you want something on one of our other shows.
All right, it's not in this one. Okay.
I hope that's the president of Digi-Key. Hello, you've reached Adafruit. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hey there. Congratulations. You're the winner of a fabulous prize. Wow. That's amazing.
Oh, cool.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Dan Eldridge, and I'm calling from West Fargo, North Dakota.
Okay. Well, you're not, wow, that's really north. You're pretty far
we're
from
really
us.
We're close to Digi-Key.
You're close to Digi-Key, but you're pretty far from us. Well, congratulations. You've won some cool stuff from Digi-Key. They'll send you out some things. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com,
Yeah.
and then we'll forward it along.
Tell them attention, Phil.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they'll forward it over to me, and I'll get
So
it to
it's
Digi-Key.
support at Adafruit.com.
Yeah, and put down attention Phil in the
I
subject
had to say Digi-Key winner.
and Digi-Key winner,
Okay.
so we know that you're going to come in and send an email soon. And we'll forward that Digi-Key with your name and email. They'll contact you and get you stuff. Have you ever ordered anything from Digi-Key before?
I have, yeah.
Do you want to say what it is or something you want to order from Digi-Key? $20,000.
Well, the last thing I ordered was some temperature sensors.
Ooh, cool. All right. Well, they got lots of those. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. Your next order is going to be free because it's going to be some T-shirts and puzzles from Digi-Key. So just send out that email and thank you for watching. Tune in next week. We'll have more fun on the live stream.
Sure.
All right. Cheers to North Dakota, New York.
Thanks.
Stay warm. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Or that's right in our backyard.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I can almost see it from here.
I know. You're just going to throw it with a trebuchet or something.
You can launch it from the building construction area.
All right. We're having a good time here.
All right, thanks for the reminder for the giveaway. Otherwise, we'll forget to do that.
This is good. We alternate. They'll give away some stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
next week we'll give away something. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Digi-Keyers. We'll see you next week. And
All right. Thanks, everybody.
chat is open, everyone. Hang out.
See you next time.
Yep.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody.